Welcome back to Dummy Boy Finance. I'm Dummy Boy and we're gonna get straight into our penny stock watch list. So we're looking at TSNPD here on the monthly time frame because I want to show you guys the larger picture here on Humble Stock and what we've been seeing recently. And so the biggest thing to show you guys here is just the volume. So this is our buying to selling volume right here, and you can see a lot of green, not too much red. And so when we see this huge red candle coinciding with this little bit of selling, should tell you something about how strong this stock is. And so when you see something so significantly green like this and you see these major dips, it should give you more confidence and conviction in the stock that you're holding, that this is going to be a long-term runner. And so that is what TSNPD is. And so this is kind of just giving you more confidence about that same premise. And so if I just zoom this back into our 30-minute time frame, we are still trading in our flag. Nothing really going crazy here. We almost did test our 50 SMA, but not quite. And so with the market sell-off today, we actually held up very nicely. Next stock of the day, we're looking at SNDL here on the 30-minute time frame. So SNDL reported earnings yesterday and they missed on their revenue estimates. And regardless of how good an ER is, if the title and the headline is misses, then it usually leads to a down day the next day. It doesn't matter how good it is. It is all manipulation. It is all what you see and what investors perceive. And so with Sundial, that's exactly what happened. We were down 5.19%, but that's not all its fault. The whole NASDAQ did get absolutely obliterated today. And so with SNDL being on the NASDAQ, it was a victim of circumstance as well. But overall, SNDL is still trading above support, above all the SMAs. And so SNDL is just continuing to trade sideways. If the NASDAQ continues to drop, this is going to get hit extremely hard. And so that is one thing to be careful here with SNDL. Next stock of the day, we're looking at IGEN on the monthly. And again, I want to show you guys the longer term outlook here on IGEN. So same thing here. You can see a lot of green, not too much red. So we've had extraordinary green buying here when we had our bottom for IGEN. And since that point, we have had about even, I would say, buying and selling. So we've been kind of stagnant here for a little bit. And so any sort of good news could rise this tide to the upside. And so I just wanted to show you guys IGEN on a longer term basis. Those of you who are kind of uncertain about the play. And so if I bring this back into our 30-minute time frame, same thing today, we back tested our 50 SMA and then we came right back up. And so we've seen a lot of interactions along our 50. Our 50 has now bled into our uptrend line, and so this is going to hold as a very nice level of support and a very nice accumulation zone here for IGEN. Next stock of the day, we're looking at Social Life Network on the monthly. And so same thing here. I want to show you guys the picture. A lot of green, literally almost no selling. So we have seen a lot of buying coming in Social Life Network and we haven't seen any sort of selling. And so if I kind of just zoom this in back into our 30-minute time frame, that should explain to you guys why I'm so bullish on Social Life Network. The numbers back it up for volume and the company fundamentals back it up. And so overall, I love this stock. You guys know I got into a really nice long position yesterday. And if I do get any opportunities along this level of support, I will be adding onto my position. And so right now we are still trading in our flag, looking for a breakout either to the up or to the downside that should be coming up next week. And so overall, Social Life Network was down 6.22% today. Next stock of the day, we're looking at SEGI. So SEGI had a lot of volatility today. We went above our 50 SMA, we went below our 50 SMA, and then we closed ultimately above. And so that was extremely bullish. Our whole market had a sell-off, but SEGI held very strong. And so this should have been a very great sign for investors in SEGI that not only did we hold this level of support, but we also did close above our 50 SMA. So that's extremely bullish, and we are still trading in this triangle, and we will continue to trade in this triangle. And so this does have an expiration date near the end of March, and so we will get better distinction of price action at that point. Overall, right now, SEGI is holding very nicely. Next stock of the day, looking at MJNA on the monthly time frame. Again, we were down 3.64%, but this monthly should kind of give you guys a better depiction of why I was so bullish here on MJNA. So you can see we had a lot of rejections at this level of resistance. And currently we are sitting still above this level, and so we are treating this level of support, and if we continue to treat this level of support, that will be extremely bullish. If you just look at our volume here, we've had a lot of buying volume and not too much red volume. Our MACD on the monthly is starting to creep up, and that looks extremely bullish. And so you guys already know, if you can get MJNA at these prices, I would highly recommend it. And so this is a very solid stock in my opinion for the next 2 to 3 years, and it could be a hold for even longer. Stock of the day, we're looking at ALYI on the monthly time frame. So we were up 3.67%, but on a longer term outlook, you can see all of this buying that we have seen. And so if I kind of zoom this out a little bit, we have been using this level as a line of resistance here since about 2007. And so this pattern did officially complete right here in about October, and then that's when we started to get a lot of our buying coming in, and so this is where we started to kind of pick up, and so that is extremely bullish. And do I think this is sustainable? If you look at our RSI on the monthly, it is overbought, so I would be careful right now with ALYI. But because this trend was going on for so long, since 2007, I do expect to see a nice move to the upside in the short term, and that's why I like this play for a swing trade, not so much for a long-term hold. Next stock of the day, looking at high tide on the monthly. Same thing, I want to show you guys an outlook. Huge buying volume. We had very little selling here on high tide. We've had a lot of buyers come in, and so this is extremely bullish to see. You guys know I am long on high tide, and so if I zoom this back into our 30-minute time frame, we are still just trading in our flag, and so this one does end at near 420, and so we will see where this one wants to go at that point. I just still want to see a back test of our 50 SMA, and so the fact that we are just slowly creeping back up, I really like to see this. I personally believe we're going to get rejected right here by this level of resistance, and then when we get rejected, we're going to bleed down a little bit. Our 50 is going to slowly keep creeping up. We are going to get a back test, and that would be a very nice opportunity for those people who want that confirmation. And so that's kind of what we're looking at here. And that might be another area where I add to my position on high tide. And so overall, we have been just kind of trading sideways between this 90 and 70 cents range. Remember, we are looking at this on the Canadian dollar. Next stock of the day, looking at ACDC on the monthly. Same thing I want to mention here. A lot of buying, not too much selling here on ACDC. And considering what we were doing back here, this looks like we are just getting started. And so for looking at our MACD right here on the monthly, extremely bullish. We had a nice crossover right here. We are still negative, but we are making our way up. And so that is why ACDC is on our watch list. We do see some potential here. It's had some deals come up. We are slowly starting to consolidate in this range. And anytime you consolidate like this becomes a very nice opportunity to be buying up. And so watch ACDC, keep this on your radar, or even buy into it, because this one has a lot of potential for the next decade. Next stock of the day, looking at HYSR on the 30-minute time frame. So Sun Hydrogen has had an extraordinary run, to say the least, and so I want everyone to remember that this stock at the beginning of November was below a penny, and so the fact that we were that low and then we made our way all the way up, we are expected to see some downward pressure, and that's what we've been seeing recently. And right now we are holding our 100-day SMA, and so this is a very great opportunity potentially for a swing play. I'm personally not getting into HYSR yet. I do believe the markets are just not in favor of technology that is up and coming and futuristic, and so I do believe that these guys are susceptible to take a larger hit. If we look at our 30-minute MACD, still negative, and we did cross over to the downside, so I still think there's going to be a lot more downside pressure here for HYSR. You may be able to get some swings on some bounces, but I think it's a little too risky for my liking to be getting into a play like HYSR. There you guys have it. That is a quick little update on all of the penny stocks we are watching. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to like. We are on the road to 10K subs, so if you made it to this point, feel free to hit that subscription button. This is Dummy Boy Finance. I'm Dummy Boy, and I will see you guys in the next one.